Hello. Hi, everybody. We are here once again. Tuesday night live show. We'll see who pops in, see what we're going to talk about. Hopefully, people got questions. It's all about the people. That's right. It's all about having a nice convo back and forth with like-minded folks. Don't leave me hanging. Let's talk about stuff, huh? Let's get sweaty, thick, and not just thick, but thoic. Let's get thoic. Hmm? Hey, Master of the 80s. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well. Thank you. Thank you. And you as well. I know it's late again. Always nice of you to pop in just to say hello. Cody, what's good, Chris? I hope this past week treated you stoinky, bud. Lewis Clark. Hi, Chris from the UK. Another UK commenter. Hello, everyone. How how was your week? How was everybody's week? How did it all go for you guys? For me, it's another week down. you know, living day by day, just living day by day, and once we get a few more people in here, talk about a few things that went down. Leroy Green starting right off. Yes, I have watched it. When it came out Friday, I binged it. Um, I felt it was on par with season 4, and these last 2 seasons have been my least favorite of the show so far. Lewis, week's been good. Watched Dawn of the Dead on 4K today. Love that movie, absolutely. And that's a great 4K release. Never looked better. It's gorgeous. But yeah, Cobra Kai season 5, it was fine. It wasn't. I still think the first 3 were the best. Um, it's getting kind of, for me. It's time to hang up the gi because I don't know. I mean, I hope, obviously they're going to do season 6, but I hope it's the last. It's kind of the same shit over and over and over again. And 4 and 5 have just been so silly to me. And it's getting a little long in the tooth as far as all these adults caring so much about winning karate sides and shit. That is just, and I get that's part of the humor, I guess, but it's just wearing thin on me. Lewis, I hope Day of the Dead gets the same treatment. Absolutely. That's my favorite Romero zombie film. Day of the Dead is choice. So I do hope that without a doubt I will get a 4K release of that movie. Sure thing. Masters of the 80s. I got to see Jaws in 3D IMAX on Friday. I was really impressed with it. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not a Jaws fan at all, but I have heard good things about the conversion, and seems like people are really going out and seeing it, which is great. Leroy, definitely interesting. I mean, it has gone Fast and Furious in a way. Yeah, and I do not like, I don't care at all about the Fast and Furious movies. You know, I get what they are, but they don't, they do nothing for me. I mean, I feel like probably the way that this season went with Cobra Kai, like I wish they would have closed it out with five, because it's just like, come on, it's yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I'll see six, but I don't know. It's not. The premise is a little silly. Lewis, yep, me too. Leroy, defeat does not exist in this live stream, does it? For Cobra Kai, it does. Like I said, man, it's time for them to hang up the gi and just chill in the valley. Thank you guys for popping in. Um, Hopefully, it's a lively and interesting live show this week. I am tired, of course. Ugh. Lewis, I recently got the American Werewolf in London 4K from Arrow, and it looks amazing. Yeah, I've been debating on that. Um, I go through a lot of some movies, like I absolutely love, and I'll always love, and I'll never ever part with them, and I'll watch them all the time. And then there's some movies where, I might have that love and affection for it, but watching them again, it doesn't do much for me. And I think American Werewolf is one of those. I've loved it, and now I'm sort of like in a place where, I don't find as much enjoyment out of it anymore. So there's things that I definitely will not upgrade, and then there's things where I just straight up get rid of. Um, because if I don't think I'm going to watch certain things again, it's like, why do I have it in the first place? Maybe I liked it at the time, so I got whatever release was out for it, and then watched it again and was like, ooh, man, because I don't blind buy. I also don't just like buy shit to buy shit to fill a collection. I buy the things that I like. Um, I'm not trying to show off here. I just like to I like to own the movies that I really love or like, and I don't really try to go beyond that. Andrew, hello. What's going on with you? We are here. We are happening. Another Tuesday live show. Leroy, what do you think of Scream Factory now as a boutique label? I mean, I've liked Scream Factory. I mean, I feel like now all they're doing is re-releasing their stuff in 4K. I think some of these labels are scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to new releases. And I think, unfortunately, there's like hardcore fans of all of these labels that will just buy anything that they put out, regardless of what it is. And I am definitely not one of those. So, I mean, there's some upgrades that are coming to 4K that I definitely will get from Scream Factory because of the movie that it is, and because I think personally they will benefit from the new transfer. Um, but I don't willy nilly just get shit. Cody, the karaoke kid was great, man. Thank you, thank you. Yes, hopefully you listened to everything and found out why that thing was made in the first place. We made it in, I believe it was February of 2006. My goodness. Karaoke Kid, which you can get now on Blu-ray from me in a double feature with the Scrotal Vengeance. Uh, Lewis, I don't understand. I used to blind buy, but then you realize most of what you're buying is utter trash. I'm really getting into my Italian horror at the moment. Just got Zombie Flesh Eaters on 4K. Yeah, I don't blind buy. I feel like, if there's something that you want to see or that you're interested in, there's enough ways that you can see it without having to spend $10 to $20 on a. Well, one, I don't buy DVD at all anymore, unless it's like an '80s TV show, um, and that's the only way they offer it. Uh, but if there's something that I want to see enough, I'll just stream it, or I'll just pay the $3.99 and rent it and watch it first. Then if I like it, then I'll buy it. But I don't just go out and get shit just because, oh, it's a new horror movie. Well, I gotta get it. No, 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 no. None of that. None of that garbage. Bobby, 4K Collector's Edition, Ski Wolf, Director's Cut with more Enor making pancakes. Never. Cody, I just recently went to Blu-ray about 2 years ago. I may get on 4K in about 5 years. Yeah, 4K is I mean, DVD. Ew, I mean, as soon as Blu-ray came out, I shifted. Um, I mean, to see the upgrade of some of these movies and titles and things that you love, and of course the newer stuff. It's like, why would you go DVD at all? It's like you're watching an inferior version of a movie. Um, and I feel like that with 4K, but I'm certainly not gonna. Uh, there's no way I'm, replacing every fucking title, because not every title needs it. There's so many Blu-rays that are just perfectly gorgeous the way they look. So I'm very selective with the 4K stuff that I get. Bobby's right. No more DVDs. Hell no. I can't even, like I said, other than like 80s TV shows on DVD, I haven't gotten a DVD in Jesus. I mean, well over a decade. Yeah. Lewis, I'm actually really okay with the Arrow release of House already. Um, I think they did a great job. I just own the 1 and 2. I don't care about the others. So I own the pack that they put out with 1 and 2. Um, yeah, and then there's like a bunch of releases that are coming that are interesting, and I'm gonna talk about one right now. But um, they're putting out 4K versions along with a Blu-ray version, but the Blu-ray is with the 4K. But it's like the ones that it's what they are offering. So like Real Genius has never had a Blu-ray release. But when it went up for pre-sale, it was like, here's the 4K of Real Genius. Well, the Blu-ray's with it. So I was like, well, fuck. I mean, it's one of my favorite comedies. I don't care about slip covers at all either. Like, fuck them. It's just a waste of fucking cardboard, and it's like stupid. I don't care about slip cases at all. So this is gonna go. But I mean, Real Genius is not in 4K. I love this movie, and it was the only way they offered it. But it was cheap. It only cost me $23. And it's got extras and stuff. And yeah, I can't wait to dip into it. It's one of my favorite comedies, and I was waiting forever for a damn Blu-ray release of Real Genius, and then hey, we're putting this out. It's like, okay, so do I need a 4K version of Real Genius? No, a Blu-ray would have been great, but because it's the only way you can get it, I got it. So now I'll watch Real Genius in 4K. Master of the 80s, I made the fatal mistake of going balls deep into HD DVD when it came out, only to have shift to Blu-ray when the format went tits up. Yeah. No, luckily I waited a little bit to really like see if it was worth it. And boy, was it. And then it's like, when 4K happened, it took me a little bit to sort of jump on that bandwagon too. But after seeing, with my own eyes, seeing Blu-ray to 4K on certain titles, again, all the newer stuff is always gonna it's on Blu-ray or 4K, it's always gonna look great. All the stuff that like mainstream is pumping out, all of that, all of the newer films that are being made, it's it can be negligible as far as, do you need a 4K or is the Blu-ray going to be fine? But with the older titles, there's a definite, it's like, wow, you fucks, like you really didn't, it was almost like a bunch of these companies knew that there was going to be another format, and so they didn't like put as much effort into cleaning up the Blu-ray versions. And then they're like, well, you thought that was clean and crisp and really brought out the natural colors. Wait until you see what we do with 4K, and then that transfer like blows the 1080p away. So, Lewis, have you watched the movie X? No, I have not. I don't know. I'm not a big Ty West fan, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it. To me, it looked like like an arty version of a touch of Satan slash Texas Chainsaw, and I don't know if I wasn't really impressed with the trailers or anything like that. I mean, maybe I'll see it sometime if it hops on streaming. But Bobby, Cobra Kai 5 was amazing. Okay. Agree to disagree, but I've kind of figured you'd think it was like the greatest, Bobby. There are even parts in the show where I was like, oh, Bobby's probably like sobbing like a child at this melodrama, terrible, ridiculous melodrama. But yeah, the week went all right. Over the weekend, on Saturday, we got to show a bunch of the cast, the pilot to Wellsville Nights, which was awesome. And we had like a nice get together that night, and a nice chunk of the cast got to see it and really loved it. And we had like a really great conversation afterwards about what's happening with it and the future of the show, and yeah, what they thought of it, and yeah, I'm pretty jazzed. I was happy that everyone really really dug it, and I hope we get to make more. I mean, that was really the highlight of the week, is having people over. Cody, excess hardcore eaten alive vibes, but instead of a crazy old man, it's a horny old woman. About as lame as Midsummer. Yeah, I mean, I don't care for those A24 or whatever the fuck that company's called. That stuff isn't for me. Me either, other than the fact that I guess people can pretend that it's heightened horror and it's mainly for film school kids and pretentious people, I suppose, who think what they're watching is, better than a Friday the 13th film. But I mean, everyone likes what they like. That's, who cares? I don't have to like it. Uh, you know, people can be happy liking and loving what they love. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. Whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? I do have an idea brewing. It's getting closer and closer to looking like I will shoot a Warlock title before the year is out. Um, the ideas have been coming frequent, splishy and splashy, and because I know that anything Wellsville Nights related isn't going to happen until probably summer of next year, if anything does, and if we're able to go ahead with continuing the entire season. Um, and I'm really chomping at the bit to get back out there and shoot something. So a fun little Warlock romp on VHS might do the trick. And I do have a goofy idea, which is exciting. So, if people do want to donate to this Warlock title, I will be releasing a little info very soon about what it is and how people can help us. It's not going to cost much, but if I do want to do what I want to do, then yeah, I mean, donations would be very appreciated and helpful for it for sure. But we shall see. We shall see. I'll probably be doing another like holiday sale, 2 holiday sales I usually do every year during October and November, December for Christmas and Halloween. Be doing another Blu-ray sale. I am broke as a joke, so I definitely got to kick out the sales and I'll probably sell some stuff. Maybe even sell some 4Ks or Blu-rays that are downstairs that I just don't need anymore. Don't watch. Maybe stuff from the 80s room, the 80s collection. When I get desperate like that, I got to pull out some things that you know, I know that I can live without and see if other people would want them. So we'll see. This thing's still going? Anybody? Anybody got questions? Anybody want to talk about anything? 80s related? Movie related? Horror? Music? Whatever? Same shit's happening, different week. It seems to be our TV schedule, our TV watching schedule seems to be we wait until Sunday and we'll watch like all the newer episodes of whatever show we like and then end it with House of the Dragon on HBO. So, we'll do She-Hulk, we'll do American Horror Stories, we'll do Rings of Power, and then we'll end it with House of the Dragon, which I've been loving. I mean, I binged Cobra Kai season 5 that Friday when it came out, that last Friday. Just did it all in one day. It was kind of meh about the whole thing. Andrew Scruggs, thoughts on the Alien franchise? I'm currently going through it. And we talked a little bit about it. I think Alien and Aliens are the best of those films. But I do find some entertainment in Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. I do find a little cheesy fun in Alien versus Predator. I think the second one, Alien versus Predator Requiem, is abysmal. Just fucking terrible, and you can't see a thing. They shot it with like zero lights. And love Prometheus, and really don't like Covenant at all. But boy, do I love Prometheus. So there you go. That's my take on the Alien franchises. The first two are the best. Andrew, how are Rings of Power and House of the Dragon? I've been iffy on watching them. I mean, I think they're fantastic. I'm liking House of the Dragon more than Rings of Power, but I am liking Rings of Power. Rings of Power is taking a little bit more time to sort of really kick the story into gear. And House of the Dragon, it just pulls you in immediately. And I'm, invested fully. Yeah, Prometheus is the prequel to Alien. A lot of fucking great stuff in there. A lot of great concepts. It's visually awesome. I just love it. I love it, and watching the documentary, which is amazing. John Spates, who was the co-writer, and then fucking Damon Lindelof came in and kind of did his bullshit to it. But the stuff that John Spates was talking about and his original version of the script and what it was going to be, man, I wish we got to see that before Damon Lindelof came in and, did some of his bullshit that he likes to do. But yeah, I mean, Rings of Power is fucking beautiful. They spent $1 billion to make the show, to buy the rights, the licenses, all that stuff. They're going to make 5 seasons, and they're spending $50 million on each episode, and it shows. It's cinema. It's basically, and the episodes so far, there's been 3 episodes of Rings of Power, and each episode has been almost, if not 70 minutes. It's just taking a little longer for the story to get going, and it takes place 3,000 years before Lord of the Rings. I guess they're just taking their time setting up certain things. But it's been really fun. It's been like, wow, we're back in Middle Earth, we're back in this world, and it's pretty outstanding. But House of the Dragon, just like Game of Thrones, it just hooks you so quick, and you get invested. House of the Dragon takes place about 172 years before Song of Ice and Fire, C. Kruger, hello. Yeah, they shot the entire first season of Rings of Power in New Zealand. Nicole, howdy. Yeah, but they've both been fantastic. And it's great to have, back-to-back fantasy shows that are both good. Did anyone go out to see Barbarian? I do want to see that. That looks kind of interesting to me. Andrew, I think by the time I get to them, their seasons will be done. It depends. C. Kruger, I have a friend who made a couple independent horror, Territory 1 and 2. Never heard of them. Yes, Cody, I do have interest in the Barbarian film. I do want to see that. I don't know anything about it. I deliberately watched a little of the trailer, because I don't want to be spoiled by anything. But just what I saw, I was like, this is going to be different. This is going to be weird, and I want to see it. But I still haven't seen Nope. There was a it was kind of a lackluster summer, quote unquote, summer movie blockbuster season. It was kind of meh. this year. And again, I think like most of the stuff that I'm eagerly anticipating is all coming to, streaming sites, whether it be streaming films or streaming TV. And I love going to the movies, love it. But, you know, it's few and far between out there. Cody, thoughts on the new Hellraiser movie coming out next month? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know Clive was a part of it in some way. I know that it's a little closer to his Hellbound Heart novel, and we'll see. It's got to be better than the crap they've been giving us since 4, you know. But we'll see. I am definitely intrigued. Uh, yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it. Cody, nope, was a letdown, sadly, but that's just me. Andrew, the trailer gives away nothing, but I keep hearing to go in completely blind. Yeah, I don't want to know nothing. For Barbarian. Really, Cody, I liked Nope. It's my favorite Jordan Peele movie. Nicole, did you watch anything on Cinema Day? No, I did not go. I didn't end up going. Cody, that's not saying much, though. Jordan has yet to impress me with his work. I mean, I feel the same way. I didn't really like Get Out or Us. I didn't hate them, but I didn't, I also wasn't like jumping up and down for them, you know. Cody, I know it's been a few weeks, but how did the con and the screening of the doc go? Yeah, we did talk about it the last few times, but for you who was not here talking with us, yeah, I mean the convention was fun. It was good. As far as a good time, it was a good time. We didn't sell anything because they put us in the celebrity area, which was a very bad move. And then when the doc screening was happening, uh, they also had Timmy Capella, the muscle-bound sax player from the Lost Boys, in concert at the same time. So there was hardly anybody in there to watch the doc. Um, and I said I felt bad for Zach. It's his movie, and he definitely can't go out to every time his movie is screening at a festival. And this one, he came out from Seattle, and it could have been better. But the people who did see it really seemed to enjoy it, and they told him so. And I think Zach felt good. You know, but yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time. It was fun just being with everybody, and that's always the best part of everything is just being with the gang and having a good time. I'm gonna be going down to Bobby's next week. Um, and Bobby and I will be doing shooting some more video for the channel, shooting some episodes, um, along with Sean King. We'll be doing some stuff with him. Excited about that. That's going to be fun. It's always a blessing to see Bobby. Since meeting each other in 2000, we have tried to see each other every year since, and sometimes multiple times a year. And I don't think we've ever faltered, really. I think we've I think we've pulled it off every year, either him coming up here or I go down there. Uh, but it's a true friendship, thick and thin. It's always a good time. But we'll have content when I come back. We will have some content to throw up on the channel, which is nice. Do you have any favorite DVD commentary tracks that stick out in your mind? Yeah, I think anytime Arnold is on the commentary tracks, they always end up pretty funny, because Arnold basically he doesn't like go into too much detail about the making of the films. He basically just tells you he tells you the story of the film as you're watching it. So that is always amusing. Um, I like the yeah. I love when Carpenter and Kurt Russell, when John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, when they're on commentaries together, it's always a fun time, and you can just hear the camaraderie and the love between the two of them. That's a great one. Those are great ones. Um, I think some J.J. Abrams commentaries are good. The Peter Jackson commentaries, any of that stuff where they actually are really digging deep, and they are getting into it, but still having fun and telling you tidbits that not even on the behind the scenes. Um, that stuff is great too. You know, there's a bunch. You just go back. Romero and Savini. Oh yeah, yeah. The Roddy Piper and John Carpenter, They Live. That's a fun one. That's a fun commentary. Uh, Cody, what's your favorite commentary on one of your films? uh, I don't think I have one. you know, I mean, most of the time we're just ripping into the film, or there's so many people in the commentary that we're barely talking about the movie and just laughing at our stupidity. So I don't know. I don't think I have one. I'm sure you fans can. I mean, if we have a lot of commentaries to a lot of the films that we've done. So I don't know. What's yours? J&K Hobby Channel. Do you ever think that a new episode with Jason Nupp and Chris Tansky? I love the holiday episodes from a few years ago. Tansky, yeah. I mean, Tansky still has been off and on the channel. He's my buddy. Jason, no. And I'm not going to go into why, but it's no, that ain't happening. But Tansky's just very busy, and then he's got there's some personal stuff that he just has to take care of. But he's you know everybody's got their life to deal with, and doing this is just fun. This isn't like a job or anything. It's there's no monetary reason to do any of this stuff. So it's really just whenever people can get together with me and get out here, then that's when we can do shows like that. Cody, Mine definitely ain't Sasquatch 2. Even for us ripping it apart, I mean, we have a good time. I remember the original, well, there isn't even a commentary to it, but to Ski Wolf, the original, we did do a commentary right after I finished editing Ski Wolf back in 2008. And hated it. Hated it. I remember we just, after I had finished it, I was like, oh my God, I hate this movie. Like a lot of my films, I don't like, but Ski Wolf, I definitely was like, oh my gosh, what a disappointment. Um, and during the commentary, it was me and Casey, and I can't remember, maybe a couple other people, but I was just ripping it to shreds. And I mean, I remember it being so bad that we were like, you know what, maybe this shouldn't go uh, to the company for DVD extras, and we just never submitted it, and I just erased it. But it was you know Nicole, I'm still down for a house episode in 5 months. Yeah, again, it's also not all the time. I don't always feel like doing it either. There's times where I'm very inspired to just hit record and do something, and then there's times where I'm just like, nah, I don't feel like it. And that's the luxury of having my channel and doing what I want and not having to have some sort of schedule with episodes. And I never wanted to monetize this. Um, it was always just to talk about shit that I wanted to talk about when I wanted to talk about it. And so, you know, yeah. And this is, doing these weekly live shows. This is in a way, I mean, it's able for me to talk about things when people want to talk about them, and then I can, interact with the people who do enjoy the channel, and if something comes to mind, I will talk about it. You know, so. But I mean, yes, there will be other themed episodes. Like we just put out the Godzilla episode, Clint and I. Um, Nicole and I were going to do a House episode from 1986. I'm sure we will. But Bobby, when I go down to Bobby's, I think we're shooting three episodes down there. So there will be content when I come back for sure. So I'm going down there next week. So I'll be back, Sunday with some fresh content. Well, Nicole, I'm sure we can shoot something else as well in the interim if you really want to wait for the anniversary, quote unquote. But Nostalgia junkie. Oh, hello. I was driving home today and I had a thought. Back to the Future takes place in 1955, 1985, which is a 30-year gap. From 1985 to today is a 37-year gap. Now I feel old as fuck. Well, wait until you're my age. Nostalgia Junkie or Tom. I hope you enjoyed Wellsville Nights, the pilot. Well, that's next year. I'm 45 and I feel 85, but I look 35. So I got that going for me. Did you ever hear a rumor that they proposed a Back to the Future reboot with Justin Bieber as Marty McFly a few years back? Gross. I never want to hear such an evil evil thing. That sounds repugnant. Hello, Sean. Hello. Yes, Cody, that is blasphemy. As long as Bob Gale is alive, there will never be a sequel or reboot of Back to the Future. Yeah, he and Robert Zemeckis keep saying that, I'm sure. Listen, even if there was, who cares? I mean, honestly, sit there and honestly say to yourself, what does a Back to the Future remake mean to you? Is it going to hurt you? Is it going to crush your soul? Is it going to destroy who you are as a person and a human and a speck of nothing on a floating rock in the middle of a vast universe? Is a remake of Back to the Future going to tear your soul apart? To my answer is no. Who cares? You know, Hollywood's going to remake every movie at some point. You can either choose to see it or not see it. The great thing is you'll always have Back to the Future from 1985 there to watch and love and adore and enjoy. So, I mean, after all, everyone, these are just movies. And that's coming from somebody who has been going to the cinema since, 1980. Sean, a remake of Back to the Future 2 may tear my soul apart. I don't think so. You should not be afraid of remakes. No one should be afraid of films. They aren't going to do anything to you, nor are they going to do anything to the original film. And sometimes, just sometimes, they're pretty good movies in themselves. Bisa pilih. Sean, what was the first movie you remember seeing at the theater? We will be talking about this. There's an episode coming up with Bobby and Sean King and I, and we are talking about that exact thing. Um, so I don't want to give it away. um, I will say the first movie that I was ever taken to was Empire Strikes Back, and I was 3 years old. And the only reason I remember it is because my family has never not told me that my first movie was Empire Strikes Back. But the very next year, I do very clearly remember in 1981 the movies that I saw in the theater, thanks to my great grandmother. But we will talk about those on the episode. Stuff for you to look forward to. Cody, nothing could be bad as the last two Texas Chainsaws. There's plenty that can be bad that are worse than those two movies. Nostalgia Junkie, I'm kind of late getting here, so maybe you covered this, but any news on Wellsville Nights getting picked up? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. The true pitching has not even begun. I have Zach doing a third sound mix pass on the pilot, and once that is done, then the full-on pitching will begin. So yeah. And then we'll do the pitching thing for probably till February. And then if there's no bites on that front, we will be doing a Kickstarter to try and raise money to shoot the entire first season. So we will see. I don't know. Nostalgia Junkie. My first movie in the theater was when Disney re-released Cinderella. No idea. Cody, Mr. Magoo, then George of the Jungle was my first. Oh, so that was like the 90s? I don't remember. Sean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was your first? Cody, around 95. Ooh. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 1989. That was your first movie in theaters, Sean? Crazy. Damn, Cody's making me feel old. I think I was in junior high when those movies came out. Cody, born in 90. Ah! Well, that makes sense. You're one of those. Oh, God. Yeah. First movie that I really wanted to go to and was excited and nagged my mom was the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in 1990. Yep. I saw that 3 times in theaters. I was 13. See me, me, me. See me, 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 me. Nicole, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle soundtrack was the first CD I ever had. Solid soundtrack. I still own the CD of that soundtrack, an open copy and an unopened copy in one of those long boxes. Yeah, the long boxes, man. That's how they came at first. Cody, the Crow soundtrack was my first CD. I thought it was the wrestler Sting. That's funny. I think my first CDs, again, it always comes like just like the VCR or the, any sort of player, whatever it was, movie or music, we would always get a bunch of, music for the player itself. So when we did end up getting a CD player, I think it was probably 1991. And I believe mine were Weird Al, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. Sean, my first CD was the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and my second was the X-Files Songs in the Key of X. And I'm talking just CDs, not cassettes, of course. But yes. Chicken Wizard, are you still going to be putting out Bloody Nipples? I could be remembering wrong. Maybe at some point we will. It might be like an extra on another one of the classic LVP releases, which will be Meter Man and Meter Man 2 and stuff like that. Yeah, the Blu-ray will come at some point for that stuff. Maybe it'll be one of the seasonal releases for the holiday sales coming up, for Halloween and Christmas. Who knows? But I still have so much like raw, old Seavage, or technically young Seavage, footage out there that nobody's seen, and those releases are a great place to put them on as extras for people to see some of the beginnings. No Oingo Boingo. I had cassettes of Oingo Boingo. I didn't start getting the CDs until a little later. So yeah, that's why I had to emphasize the CD as opposed to the cassette, because I had tons of cassettes, tons of tapes. The first cassette I ever owned I was 6 years old, and it was Thriller. It was a gift. I actually got it as a gift, as a Halloween gift that year. First tape was Jackal. My daughter recently asked us for one of those music players that Max has in Stranger Things. So my mom found her a cheap Walkman and I gave her a couple of my old tapes. That's great. That's awesome. Sean, very cool. My first cassette that wasn't a hand-me-down was Dare to Be Stupid. Beautiful. I had all those as well. Anytime a new Weird Al cassette came out, a new Weird Al album, I got it. And I still have them to this day. They're in the living room with the cassette players and record players and all that stuff. My first tape was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shells. Ugh. No thanks. But again, you were wee. You were young. Uh, I'm not going to take what you just wrote seriously because the music is fucking terrible. There's nothing good about that coming out of their shells. Nothing. But that's just me. Cody, first CD I purchased with my own cash was Weird Al's Running with Scissors. Then ICP. You made a good choice with that Weird Al. Damn to be young and dumb, I suppose. When we were 6 to 10 years old, the fact that Turtles had a cassette was amazing. Sure. I get it. That stuff was straight for 5, 6, 7, 8 year olds, 9 year olds. Yeah. But I mean, it's just it's I guess it's discerning tastes as well. Because even as a even as a little kid, I knew what I didn't like and what I did, and you know, I mean, I think when that came out, Jesus, when that was happening, I was already in my teens. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're millionaires, and beautifully, they're working together again. I still have to get the Last Ronin, and I want to. I hear it's amazing. It's on my that stuff is always on my wish list. I have, who knows? I've got so many things on my wish lists for Christmas. But Casey read The Last Ronin and said it was great. I really am looking forward to reading it. Uh, they did. They worked on. They already did. It's already out. The Last Ronin. It's a turtle book. Eastman and Laird. Yes. I guess you're not as big a fan as you think you are. Well, it was a seepage burn. Are you going to be coming out this way, Tom? You're making your way out this way, any for family at all at some point? You know, you got to let us know. I was supposed to be up there at the end of August, but it got canceled because of work and medical stuff. Now I'm shooting for March, April. Cool. Cool. Well, just let us know. Keep us updated so we can try to, me and Casey can try to hang out. You can come over and do an episode with us or something. Go out to eat. Who knows? Taste each other's flavors once again. Shit. Sorry, I'm so tired, guys. Mm. Hello. How are you? Have you come to taste my flavors? Hmm? Cody, yeah, to an extent, I am a fan of 976 Evil. It's cheesy. Um, some aspects I like about it. I find it entertaining. Yep. I don't own it. Um, I probably should have went for that Blu-ray when I had the chance when it was cheap because you can't get it cheap now. So my daughter has really been into cheesy, silly horror movies lately, Chucky, Leprechaun, etc. You have any recommendations that I could show her? I mean, did you show her Monster Squad? I mean, that's not cheesy, but it's awesome. I mean, it might be cheesy for some people, but it's amazing. Um, Critters, Critters 1 and 2. You know, Ghoulies 2. The sequel to 976 Evil is horrendous as far as I'm concerned. It's pretty bad. Yeah, Cody says the It miniseries from 1990. I mean, that, I don't know, if that would like creep her out or not, but I love that miniseries. That's a great one. Tried to show her Jason, but it scared the shit out of her. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess I could see like part 2, 3, and 4 scaring a kid. But then they just get, then they're just kind of cool. They're not really like scary. And yeah, 976 Evil 2 is just, that's a no-go. Yeah, I mean, I could see 3. I could see 3 creeping out. I could see that. Cody, my stepson thinks Freddy and Jason are boring, but it is terrified of the Scary Stories movie. Weird. Yeah, that's weird. But that's a great movie. I think Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a good movie. It's really fun. My first scary movie was The People Under the Stairs when I was like 8, and it scared the shit out of me then. All right. Yeah, Cody says Killer Clowns. People love that movie. I don't know. I've probably watched that movie 10 times, and I think it's terrible every time I watch it. It's one of those like, am I missing something here? Why do people love this movie? So like throughout, since I was a fucking, probably 12, I've watched that movie like over 10 times throughout my life, and I'm just like, nope, I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, I could see kids, I guess, digging it, I suppose. Troll and Troll 2. I mean, you know, you could show Troll 2 to her if you want to be like, hey, this is a really cheesy, terrible film, and they thought that they were making gold, and it's crappy, so she might laugh at it. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that's even remotely scary in it. Love Pumpkinhead. I mean, have you also shown her like Ernest Scared Stupid and stuff like that? You know, good. I have a I have a masochistic like of the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I remember I was 10 when it came out. I came out of the theater for Masters of the Universe, and I like absolutely hated that movie. Um, and it was like around the same time I remember being excited for Garbage Pail Kids, but Garbage Pail Kids never opened in our town, so I didn't see it until like probably 6 months later when it came out on VHS. And I to this day I find a morbid enjoyment out of the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Clint and I both sort of have this fun, nostalgic, weird connection with that movie. And if you watch the special features on the Blu-ray, it's hilarious how you know some of the things they say about the film are just really funny. I mean, I was, of course, since 1985, I've been a huge Garbage Pail Kids fan. I definitely had the cards and traded them with my friends and all of that stuff. I was working with a couple 20 somethings a few weeks ago, and I was talking about Ernest, and they were like, "Who?" Well, yeah, you're not, yeah, you know, unless they had awesome parents and were raised on cool shit, they're not going to know who Ernest is. Cody, yeah, I love Freaked. It was originally called Hideous Mutant Freaks, and that's how it was when it first started because I was following that movie, like the making of that. Alex Winter and Tom Stern had a short-lived show that I loved. It wasn't on long. It was called The Idiot Box on MTV, and they would do interviews and they were talking about the making of Hideous Mutant Freaks. And then I was also collecting Fangoria and Gorezone at the time, and Gorezone had like a big piece on what later became Freaked. And I used to reserve titles all the time at Video Connection, our local video store, and uh, if there was weird or horror or anything like that, they knew that, oh, Chris gets first reservation for that title. And I remember Freaked. That was definitely one that I reserved for when it came out, and of course loved it. By the time it came out, I was 16 or something like that, but fucking loved it. The work in that is insane. But it was, I mean, it was a couple years that kind of transpired from Idiot Box to when Freaked actually came out. Cody, I agree. It is underrated. Well, a lot of people just didn't see it. And then when the fucking, when the 2-disc DVD came out from Anchor Bay, Anchor Bay for a lot of titles, they would like release a certain amount and then they would be like, well, it's done. So now it's out of print. And that's how it happened. I mean, I had mine. Eventually, I did end up selling it, but not until like as recent as last year, I think. Um, I sold that 2-disc set. You ever see Blood Sucking Freaks? Yeah, it's not a good movie. You would not like it. Some people love it, but no, it's not. It's not a good movie as far as I'm concerned. The hell? All sorts of weird ass noises coming. Jason, I just saw your live stream on a digger. He seems to enjoy what I do, so I guess that's him promoting us, Jason Stewart. So I don't really know him, only through him liking my channel. That's awesome. He's a good guy. You're going to see the movie Smile. I know nothing about it. I'm not the biggest mainstream horror guy. It just depends on what it is. It depends on if it catches my eye. I mean, I know people who, just because it's a horror movie, they'll go. Not me. So I don't know. Um, I mean, I guess I've seen posters and stuff for it, but I haven't seen any trailer or anything. I don't know what it's about. So I don't know yet. Tom, I got to bounce, man, but it was good chatting with you. Yeah, indeed. Thank you for popping in. Uh, you know, I try to do these live shows every Tuesday, 5:30. If you can make it, great. So thank you. We'll get nostalgic another time, Tom. Yes. Yes, indeed. Do I know anything about the porn that Odorous Arungus was in? No, but I'm sure you do. Were you in it, Nicole? I'm sure you wish you were. I mean, did he have the costume on? Oh no. I bet the acting sucked. Yeah. Now, if he was in his costume, that'd be hilarious. That'd be a worthwhile watch for sure. Sleazy peas in the background. Oh no. Oh wait a minute. Uh, I I mean, why would you say this is a porn? I don't know if this is a porn. I think it's um I think this is a oh wait. Yeah, this is a Beelzebub film. It's not really porn. Um, it's just got like a bunch of nakedity and shit in it. Beelzebub makes these really terrible, like no budget shit fests, and somehow he is able to keep doing it and makes money off of it. I don't know. Yeah, they're pretty terrible. I just sucked. I haven't seen it. Cody, season 3 of Holliston, orders fucks a cat. Man, that show's terrible. Nicole, she said she never actually watched it. Her rolls her. We should have a viewing party. Yeah, it's funny. Like Andrew and I call him like the ultimate scumbag, Beelzebub. He's just ugh. For years and years, we would be like, sort of, our tables at conventions would be across from each other, and you would just see the line of, yeah, it was the no thanks. Kind of like how the Friday the 13th series has mostly nudity. No, 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 no. These are more. These Beelzebub movies are a little more than that. A little more softcore, a little more beyond R, if you will, but not quite porn. Um, I guess in a way, some of the stuff I've done as well. Not me personally, but the stuff that I have in some of my movies. It can push the limits of ridiculous sexual buffoonery, for sure. Jason, I do. I do. It's neck and neck with the Nightmare on Elm Street series as my favorite horror franchise of all time. Big Friday fan. We have specific episodes on the channel that are Friday the 13th related. That if you do stick around and want to check out any of the stuff on this channel, you can, we have specific shows, episodes throughout the years. Um, I have a home theater tour on here as well, which also is the horror room, so it shows off a lot of the horror stuff that I have in the house. Hold on, I'll be right back. Get away. Get away. food. God damn it. All right, just had to strangle a skunk. I'm back. Andrew Scruggs, what's your ranking on the horror classics? As in, what do you mean? What horror classics? There's a lot of horror classics. There's so many. Which ones? Jason's my favorite, but Freddy's the funniest. That sounds good. I'll have to check it out. Like the slashers. Yeah. I mean, Jason would be 3. I mean, no, Jason. Michael is 3 for me for sure. Freddy and Jason are right up there. You know, I've never really thought of Freddy as a slasher per se, but I guess he's more of a psychosexual nightmare. But yeah, you know, Michael's probably 3, and then it just, you know, Leatherface is below all that. I mean, I guess I would consider the big 3, certainly from my era of growing up, is, you know, Freddy, Jason, and Michael for sure. Stingy Jack is the best slasher from the 80s, period. Yeah. Yeah. Stingy Jack is something. And he will return at some point. I grew up watching Chucky and then Friday the 13th. That's great, man. Yeah. Andrew, what is Stingy Jack? Stingy Jack is from my Death o' Lantern films. Matthew, let's go about this a different way then. What are your criteria for judging good horror films? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I have a criteria. It's just if it pleases me, if there's something in it that appeals to me. I don't know. I don't know if I have like a set of rules to enjoy a horror film. It just, you know, if you look at my collection of films that I love, it's I think it's pretty varied and different. Um, Certainly within that genre. Uh, I don't like a lot of horror that just that takes itself too seriously. That's definitely one thing that I don't enjoy. Um, I don't know. Cody, Andrew, you're missing out. Get them from Chris now. He does have them. Andrew does have them. Have you seen the cheesy 80s movie about Jack Frost the Snowman? It's not an 80s movie. Jack Frost? Like the horror movie? It's definitely not an 80s movie, Jack Frost. But if that's the one you're talking about where he's a he's a serial killer and you know, he turns into a snowman. Yes, I have seen it. um, But what else? Oh, what else is the Gooch? How are you? How are you, the Gooch? Sean King, what's your favorite Halloween season tasty treat? Uh, yeah, Jack Frost, Jason. Yeah, it's bad and it's cheesy. It's from 1997. But yeah, I have seen that several times actually. Sean King, what's your favorite Halloween season tasty treat? As far as like movie or just tasty treat as in food? What do I love to devour, Mr. King? Cody, Andrew, they're great, especially this time of year. Jason, candy corn is my favorite. Candy corn is repugnant to me. Um, Sean. So I really love. I am a big. I'm a pumpkin guy. I do love pumpkin things. So I love pumpkin donuts. I love pumpkin pie. Um, I like hot chocolate, but pumpkin hot chocolate. I like things like that. Of course, I love apple cider, um, donut holes. I love pumpkin delight from Little Debbie. That's amazing. Any of the pumpkin rolls, you know, I do like that shit. And any of that. I mean, and that carries on into December as well, November, December, any of that. Like there's a hard cider that I love. It's called Mac Jack Frosty Pumpkin hard cider. It's fucking delicious. So I love it. Jason, no, I don't do coffee. I'm not a coffee person. I'm not a big caffeine person at all. Andrew, I'm slowly making my way with how many movies I have to watch this spooktacular spook season. Yes, you do. Nicole, got to get that pumpkin delight ice cream. Yes, I do. I gotta, maybe I'll find it tomorrow when we go out to a different Walmart. Sean, no, not pumpkin spice pizza, but I know what you're getting at. We make reference to that. That is me poking fun at everything has to be pumpkin spice, but generally, I mean, since I was young, I've loved anything pumpkiny, you know, a confectionery treat that's pumpkin tasting and or spiced that fall flavor, that fall winter flavor, the spice, you know. See me. Oh God, yes. I'm sure when I see you next next week, Mr. King, I will be noshing down on certain fall flavored treats at some point. And of course, I love my monster cereals, Gotta have those. Jason, do you like Sam and Colby? I have no idea what the hell Sam and Colby is. I don't know. They do haunted investigation videos. I can send you a link to their channel. They're awesome. Well, maybe. I mean, I'm not a big haunts type of. I don't really watch that stuff. The ghost hunting and all that stuff. But I tell you, Real Genius on 4K Blu-ray, I'm definitely going to be watching because it's a crom damn classic. Do you understand me? Do you hear me? You gotta get it. Smells like young Val Kilmer. Hey man, couch potato. Did you watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe, Chris? I did, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. Couch potato. Hey man, it's been a long time, but glad I was able to catch you live. Glad to see you on here. Glad to see you, couch potato. Matthew, Pumpkin Festival, Circleville, Ohio, October 19th to the 23rd. Yeah, we have a thing up here as well. Adam Fake, tell me, would you be prepared if gravity suddenly reversed itself? Man, that happens to me every night. Of its own volition. I'll just be laying there. Suddenly, I'll be thrust up into the air, squashed against the ceiling. And I'll be like, oh no, the gravity has suddenly reversed itself again. Gotta live it, man. Every day, every damn night. Couch potato, are there any more Saturday morning sleepovers coming? Yeah, at some point. I try to. The last one we did was in February, I think. Oh no, we did one in June, I believe. June was the last one, I think. So yeah, I mean, we'll do them. They'll keep happening. Jason, is this from a movie? What from a movie? Is what from a movie? The Gooch, did you like the movie The Entity? No, I wasn't. I'm not a big fan of The Entity. The Saturday morning sleepovers, it's like I do them and I always feel like at the end of the time, at the end of the event, I always think people like didn't have a good time. So it's becoming few and far between now, and I try to invite more like-minded folk, but it's really the same like 3 or 4 people that always show up. No, we haven't had a big Saturday morning sleepover in a long time. Cody, did I like The Void? Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I'm not going to own it, but I didn't hate it. It was a fun romp. Jason, do you like The Shining? If so, Sam and Colby went to the Stanley Hotel twice. I do not like The Shining. I mean, I like the book, but I do not like Stanley Kubrick's movie. I actually really love Dr. Sleep. And I thought that movie was phenomenal, actually. Yeah. Cody, I showed my stepson the Dingleberries the other day. Yeah, I can see some kids getting a little chuckle out of that. Nichol, you're insane. We fucking love Live and Die for Saturday morning sleepover. I guess. I mean, it would be nice if new people showed up. I don't know. I always think you guys are so bored. They also went to the Conjuring House. Adam Fink. I'm just getting back from an 11-hour day. God damn. That's rough, my friend. That is rough. He's been wanting to watch your films. That was the only one appropriate I could think of. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, Death o' Lantern, the first one. Maybe Geek War. I mean, there's not too much stuff in Geek War, but I mean, I guess it depends on what they would find funny, you know. I mean, my son's 15 and he's doesn't give a shit about any of the stuff that I've done. I mean, he chuckles, but it's like he grew up with everybody, you know. I mean, he considers everybody in the films a family, so he knows everybody's shtick, and he grew up with these films being made around him. And yeah, Rivers, he's just like, yeah, whatever. Nicole, we're not bored. I'll try to find new blood. I mean, I've said every single time, like, people can bring people if they're interested in what the Saturday morning sleepover is. You definitely don't want to bring somebody who is not going to be interested in 10 hours of that material. So, I mean, I've tried with some of the, Wellsville Nights people too, but it's just like their lives seem to be live and breathe theater. So it's like, what do you do? Jason, I'd be able to see a live stream on Saturday mornings. Well, Saturday morning sleepover is something I do. It's not a live thing. It's not. It's an event that I do at my home, that I've been doing for, I guess this is the 6th year. But I was born in '77, and I love the '80s. I loved living in the '80s, and I have not let the '80s go. And one of the things that I do to sort of keep it alive in my life and like-minded friends is I edit together 10 hours of '80s television shows, cartoons, commercials, music videos, and other like weird like trailers and odds and ends, weird stuff from the '80s, and I edit together a 10-hour program of it. And people come to my home. I have a home theater, and we just spend all 10 hours in our pajamas eating garbage, which as a 45-year-old I shouldn't be doing, but because we don't do it often, I like to indulge. And then we just watch our childhoods unfold. And it's primarily for people who are of the age range, or I mean, we've definitely had people who did not grow up in the '80s and still enjoyed it, and we just laugh, and it's a nostalgia trip, and it's fun for like-minded folks, and childhood, remembering your childhood and all that stuff. And it is a blast. Well, I think it's fun. You know so we'll see. And we've had up to, like, 15, 16 people at an event before, because it's, that's all I can fit in my home theater. I can probably fit a little bit more now that we have a bigger home theater, but that's what Saturday morning sleeper is. Saturday morning sleepover. And in our old house, that's where we did it a lot of, in the home theater in our old house that we had. And there is also several videos in the channel where we show what we do at a Saturday morning sleepover and stuff like that. Andrew, that sounds cool. I'd be down to watch that. You'd be like, and it's fun. I think for people, younger folks, also like '90s kids, to watch some of the stuff that we loved coming out of the 80s. I think it's fun for people who never experienced it as well, just because we laugh as well at some of the cheese and how hokey it was. So that's always a good fun to see everybody sort of react to it in different ways. I like Michael Jackson and The Breakfast Club, but that's about it. It sounds fun. I couldn't watch for 10 hours though. Yeah, well, it's a very, it's a very, you got to be a real nostalgia warrior to enjoy the magic and the passion of that kind of thing. We do it with movies too. We do movie marathons all the time that'll last like 10 to 12 hours. And those are fun as well. I just love doing that. I love, I could watch back to back movies every day, all day. Like I love media. Andrew will be at the next SMS. Well, I certainly, if we can schedule a time, the next one might be next year. So who knows? Cody, Baltus, or Scruggs. Baltus has been to several Saturday morning sleepovers, but Scruggs has not. Jason, what's your favorite 80s and 90s movies? Too many to say. 90s, not too many. Actually, I do. 90s. In general, I hate the 90s. I was not a fan living through the 90s. Not that I will say I had a bad time living in the 90s, because I was, in my teens and going into my 20s in the 90s. And I certainly was doing things that I loved in the 90s. I was making my movies, and it was a good, fertile, fun time. But pop culture wise, I hated the 90s. Aesthetically in the 90s, I hated the 90s. So I was still, living off the fumes of the 80s and all that stuff. Too many to count. Again, you'll be able to find several videos below of a lot of 80s stuff or 90s stuff that I do love or like. Yeah, there's just too many in the 80s. Couch potato. I could sit for 2 days straight and watch 80s stuff. Hell yeah, man. I'm right there with you. There's not a day that goes by where I don't watch something 80s related, whether it be a TV show or a movie of some kind. Nicole, I gotta run. Dinner's prepared. Great. Thank you for stopping by. I gotta open this. Yeah. Going on here. Okay. Well, we managed to get to 2 hours this week. I think we did last week. I don't know. But thank you for the people who have stopped by and continue to come by every week to talk all things pop culture and my movies and the 80s and music and toys and all of that stuff. Always appreciate it. And it's been nice to see new people always pop in every week too. That's great. Hopefully there's something on the channel that the new folks will appreciate. Enjoy. You were the man. Of course we would. Oh, thank you. You're fine. I am indeed 45, Jason. I know I don't look it. I was born in July 28th, 1977. I have a 15-year-old son named River. And I've been making comedy horror movies for 31 years. But thank you, Couch Potato, and thank you, Cody. Thank you for always popping in and being a fan of myself and this buffoonery and all that stuff. Ooh, you have a nephew named River. Awesome. Yes, my son is River. The Gooch. My wife's birthday is July 28th, 1978. Ooh. So we share a birthday just a year apart. Magical. Mystical. Yes, so you do celebrate my birthday. This year's birthday, to celebrate 45 years, we were shooting Wellsville Nights. It was pretty great. It was pretty great to be out there and shooting again, and you know, to commemorate my 45th year on this giant space rock. It is. It's always fun when there's fun coincidences like that. It's fun. I share mine with Anton LaVey and a Nigeria football player named Festus. Very royal indeed. Be 28 in 14 days. 14 days. It's your birthday. Well, happy early birthday to you, Jason. Couch Potato. Are you going to any upcoming cons? I don't think so. You know, again, like I'm broke. Cons are so expensive. Um, you know, paying for the table, which, you know, now conventions charges $300 and up for a convention table. Then you're paying for the hotel room, transportation, all that stuff. It's, you know, I love doing the conventions. And it's always great when we can get out there. You know, last one I did was just this Creature Feature weekend that just passed, and you know, sorry. The Gooch. Have you been watching Cobra Kai? Yes, I finished it. I watched it Friday when it aired, when it came on, and I just binged it all on Friday. It was okay. I really loved the first three seasons, but I didn't. You know, four was meh, and five was meh. Jason Stewart, if you do this again on Tuesdays, I'll definitely see you before then. Yes, I will. Every Tuesday, I try to do 5:30 Eastern. The Gooch. I'm on episode 5 at the moment. Yeah, just I don't know. You know, I'm finding Cobra Kai to be sort of be it's sort of the same shit over and over and over again with this fourth and fifth season. And I mean, it does like jump off from the first three seasons, but it's just kind of like, I mean, the goofier it gets, the more it goes on, and I'm just kind of getting tired of like seeing a bunch of these old men get upset about, you know, karate and all of that stuff. It's just I don't know. I hope it ends in season 6 and, you know, they go out on a high note. I was entertained for sure with 4 and 5, but I just I think, you know, I think it's like, okay, it's not. Jason, do you mainly listen to 80s music or any other genre? Primarily, I've always never really left listening to 80s music. I love metal, but the metal that I love sprung from the 80s, but I also love, fantasy metal. So I've enjoyed metal that, maybe started in the 90s or the 2000s, but they're a very specific fantasy metal, power metal, things that like that. Um, 80s music can be a variety of 80s music because, I love a whole bunch of different bands from the 80s. I also love ska music, and that sprung from the 80s. The type of ska music that I was listening to, um, my love of it sprung from the 80s. I know that ska is from the 50s, but so I love ska music, but a lot of modern music, no, I do not like. I don't think is very good. Um, Boy, did I hate 90s music. I hated the fucking music that was coming out of the 90s. I thought it was awful. Um, so, it's, yeah, I'm not a country guy. Never liked country. Um, so, couch potato, I've started watching Saturday morning cartoons on Saturday mornings again, and there are some that still really hold up, and there are some that I watch just for nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. Again, that's definitely something I do when I do Saturday morning sleepover is pop those certain cartoons in. There's some cartoons that actually I've talked about it, but like at night when the wife and I don't know, we jump in bed around 10 o'clock, and sometimes we'll have shows that we like to watch together, but for the most part, we'll either throw on um, episodes of Tales from the Crypt, episodes of Freddy's Nightmares, or episodes of like She-Ra and He-Man, or Real Ghostbusters or Thundercats. Thundercats and Real Ghostbusters to me still holds up. There's actually there was good writers behind those shows, even though they were catering to 5 to 10-year-olds, which we were back then. But then there's some that are just not that good. But you sort of have them or watch them because of nostalgic reasons. Um, Cody Larold loved country. Maybe Larold does. Definitely not. I don't even think Leo does. Leo's a hip redneck for sure. The Gooch. I've been watching The Real Ghostbusters on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I have The Real Ghostbusters on DVD, but yeah, we'll just pop in some episodes of The Real Ghostbusters because I still think it's written well. But yeah. Brush my eyes. Damn. This delicious issue of Fangoria. There's a this is from my collection, but we have a neighbor. Our neighbors are, for the most part, around our age, but they have two 10-year-old twin girls. And one of them is like a big horror fan. And when we moved in here last October, like it was like the one twin thought I was like the coolest person ever. And we've kind of bonded over horror and stuff like that and what her father lets her watch. But she's watched some pretty cool stuff at 10. And she, a couple months ago we were over there and she was listing off all the movies that she's watched and all the horror stuff that she has in her room and everything. And so recently I've been I'll let her dad sort of vet the stuff first, but I've been giving recommendations and letting her read like old Fangorias or Horror Hound magazine and things like that, and certain movies that I'll recommend, and her dad will watch first, and then say, yeah, you can watch this stuff. But it's been pretty cool. The Gooch, I'm actually watching Leatherface. Yeah, like part 2 and 3 are my favorite Texas Chainsaw movies. And next week, when I'm with Bobby and Sean King, we're going to a 35 millimeter double feature um, at the Cinema Arts Center, and we're watching Texas Chainsaw 2 and 3 back to back in 35. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be a good time. Two is my favorite, but I like three, and I love Leatherface's look in three. Um, but boy, do I love the Savini stuff in part two. But two has always been my favorite. You're hitting that sweet spot with me when you're bringing in the comedy and the horror, and of course Oingo Boingo. My God, Jason, have I seen the Elvis movie? I mean, I don't really have any interest in it. I have nothing against Elvis. Certainly, I had family members who love Elvis, grew up on that stuff, but it's not something I don't hate Elvis or anything like that. I'm not really interested in watching it, I guess. I did really love the Bohemian Rhapsody. I love because I love Queen. I grew up loving Queen, so I love the Freddie Mercury, the whole thing, all that stuff. I'll certainly watch Michael Jackson if they ever do one. I'll certainly watch Prince if they ever do one. You know, I heard the dude that played Elvis was really good in it. That's awesome. That's great for. That's not something I need to watch. The Gooch, my wife made me watch the Elvis movie. It was meh for me. Would not watch it again. Oh yeah, you better believe I'm watching the Weird Al one. The Weird Al one. I mean, you knew going in, at least I did, that fucking Weird Al was not going to make a serious biopic movie. Like, I mean, nothing in it is real. There's no truth to it. It's all satire and goof, which is can't expect anything. I wouldn't expect anything else from a Weird Al biopic, which is going to be hilarious. I can't wait. I really can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be great. Jason, my favorite part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is where the sheriff is standing on the people's backs. Uh, Cody, Jason, that's the remake series. Yeah, yeah. Cody, I'm obsessed with Chainsaw almost as bad as I am LVP. Yeah, people love those Chainsaw movies. I've never liked the original. Never. Even when I was a kid, just never liked it. I always thought it was so boring. So like my friends would be like, "Hey, you want to rent the chainsaws?" And be like, "Well, we can rent part 2." And then I saw 3 when it came out in theaters. So, but Adam, I'm the Lord of the Harvest. Yeah. Whew. Man's a psycho in that film. It's great. So fun to watch him go nutso. Cody, the OG, is why I watch the extreme horror films now. I blame for my comedy horror love. 2, I blame for my comedy horror love. The extreme horror. The Gooch Franklin is annoying in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Of course. I mean, I think, they certainly were going for that, for sure. Couch Potato, what's your favorite and least favorite horror movies? I mean, my favorite horror movie is 1985's Fright Night, for sure. That's always been my favorite horror movie. My least favorite horror movie? Or are you talking about genres? Again, if it comes to genres, I like anything that's too serious, that takes itself too seriously, or is supposed to be like so like this is like Cody mentions like extreme horror films. Like that stuff is like goofy as shit to me. I don't care about that stuff. I don't watch that stuff. It's so like one, that stuff could happen in real life, and like I think real life sucks in general. Our world sucks. The human race should be obliterated by aliens or a fucking meteorite or whatever. I'm all good with that. Um, so I prefer the stuff that's far more like fantastical or weird or creaturey or supernatural or certainly fun. Um, that stuff to me is much more entertaining. Entertaining. I think movies should be entertaining. So spent like $400 recently on all the NECA chainsaw figures. Oof. Hey man, you love what you love. That's great. Keep on collecting. Jason, weird fact about me: I used to own the Star Wars trilogy on VHS and never watched it. I'm kicking myself because of it. You still haven't seen any of the Star Wars films? I mean, do you still? I mean, they're out there. They're available. Do you still have the trilogy on VHS? I mean, I certainly have the VHS. I mean, but I still have a VCR and a bunch of VHS. Cody, his list favorite is Gutterballs. Gutterballs is terrible. Couch Potato. No, I do not like the Scream franchise. Never have. I've seen them all. I've seen them because of my cousin, because Casey. So the first one we didn't see together, but the first one, I remember I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we walked out, and I was just like, "What a pile of shit! What a joke!" I have a lot of issues with what people think the Scream movies do, and I don't like them. And then Casey, he loved them. Casey loves them, and so Casey would always be like, "Hey, I'll want to go?" So I've seen all the other movies with him, and not once have I been like, "This is great." I've just been like, "Well, another one down." I mean, in tradition, I even went with him to this new Scream movie that came out, and I was just like, Oh, fuck. Get me out of here. This fucking movie's terrible. So, Jason, you've only seen the Family Guy version of the Star Wars films? That's tough, my brother. Adam, I can't watch Star Wars anymore. I grew up with the non-special editions, and it's just not the same. You know, you can get the non-special editions and have them. That's what I have. And they're beautiful. I have beautiful versions of the original versions of the Star Wars films. Jason, have I read 1984? Yes, I have. Couch Potato. I don't enjoy them either. The Scream films. Yeah. Shit on a shingle. Poop on stick. But people love them. That's great. You know, like, I love that people love, you know, whatever horror they love. You know, it's a great community. You know, I don't poo-poo anything that anybody loves. I mean, I can sit here and say, like, ew, I don't like that shit. That's garblagio. But so what? You know? Believe me, you know, there's plenty of people out there who loathe some of the stuff that I love, and that's fine. It's not for them, but it's for me. Enjoy what you enjoy, my friend. Jason, yes, it's crazy how George Orwell was ahead of the time. I mean, so much. Like I said, though, you know, I can't wait for this fucking world to be destroyed, and all the righteous folk think that they're smarter than everybody else and are arrogant and pretentious and think that nothing can ever happen to us when we are mere specks of dust in this vast universe. The hubris on the humans, us humans, fucking ridiculous. We all deserve to be destroyed. See me. What's out there is far more fascinating than what's down here. 100%. Jason, oh, I believe in aliens for sure. Of course I do. Not even a question. Our feeble minds cannot comprehend what's actually out there. We can have theories, we can hypothesize, we can say science, but only to an extent. We don't know what the fuck's out there. We can't even get beyond a certain point yet because we're so stupid. You know? And yes, Quasar Helix. Quasar Helix is one of a kind, and you know, he really opened himself up to us lowly human creatures, and you know, you think, it really makes you think when Quasar Helix is hanging out with you. You know, he makes you ponder. I mean, I don't know where they are. I mean, they're out there. Obviously, 100%. I believe in all manner of creatures beyond what we are. I mean, if you really think about it, fucking cats are weird. You know, dogs are weird. Squirrels are weird. We're weird. What the fuck are we? You know, humans gave us the name of human. We came up with everything that we came up with. We don't have a real name. What I'm saying now is gibberish to other things, other people. You know, is we came up with this shit. No one gave this stuff to us. No one said, humans, you're born, you are human. No, we did. As a species, we came up with all these words, these names, these fucking, you know, I mean, fuck. Who knows, man? But it's fascinating and it's exciting and it's awesome. And we are but nothing. And I love that. I love it. I love it that we are nothing. It excites me. Couch potato. Yeah, I mean, this world sucks, man. It sucks. It's like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we as a creature, as a species, have done to this planet, this floating space rock. We're a bunch of heathens, a bunch of idiots, morons. I'm so glad I only had one kid, and I fear for my kid's future, but I'm glad I only had one. It's insane to me, these psychos who pop out like 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. Whatever. People are people. They're gonna do what they do. All I can do is sit back and do what I do. None of my business. Try to live the way I want to live. That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? I like my useless, dumb materialism, pop culture, stupid shit. Puts a smile on my face. Makes living here bearable. Please, Quasar, Helix, take me away. Take me to the Bubulus Nubulus Nebula. And then obliterate. That's right, beam me up, Quasar. Take me away from all this death. Huh? See me, Mimi. Y'all like them big natural titties? I do. Couch potato. I think that's why I'm so in love with the 80s and everything with it, because it's my safe space. Yeah, man. 100%, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and I want it all. Give me all that nostalgia, for sure. It's definitely part of my happiness, hanging on to what it was, and and clearly there's millions upon millions of people who agree, or we wouldn't continuously be aping the 1980s, the greatest decade of all time and the greatest pop culture of all time. And we're still aping it today. The Gooch, Christy Canyon. That's right. Christy Canyon. Going down memory lane. Well, guys, I'm gonna be getting off here soon. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm getting hungry. Gotta have some tasty vittles. Think I'll pop open a bag of Almost Home cookies with some Pepperidge Farm cake. Maybe I'll have a Bartles and James. Check my TV guide. Watch some Fall Guy. Maybe an episode of Misfits of Science. They play 80s music at my job all day on Fridays. Some of it's good, but some of it's annoying. Yeah, you know, it's the luck of the draw. Not all 80s music is good music. I will agree. But I'll listen to 80s music any day of the week over the shit that we have these days. From the 90s up. But that's just me. You know, you may come here and be like, man, this guy hates everything. He's a curmudgeon, man. She's like, no, it's just tastes. I have my tastes, and these are my tastes, and these are the things that I love, and these are the things that I don't love. Everybody's got them. You can enjoy what you love, and I'm not gonna, give you shit for it. Same with me. I love what I love, and I don't care what anybody thinks. So, all subjective. It's a magical thing. Subjectivity. It will makes you, you. Tweet. So what do you think? Any more questions? What do you got? What do you got before I split? Before I split for another week? Maybe there'll be another. There might be an episode. I've been. There's a couple things up here that I've been thinking of doing a video on. So I might be popping up at least one new video coming up before next week's stream. And then I'm off to Long Island for 5 days of chicanery and buffoonery. But if you got anything else, I'll answer, and then I'm going to split, or I'll split right now, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, Couch Potato. Yes, have a good night. Thank you for popping in. Again, I do these every Tuesday, these live shows, 5:30 Eastern. But thank you for continuously Gooch, getting that pumpkin pie. Love me some pumpkin pie. I don't know if I'd love it from Costco, but boy, do I love pumpkin pie. Homemade pumpkin pie. Delectable. Put that shit on my nips and just lick that shit out. And don't forget the whipped cream. Ooh. Ejaculate from the gods. Oh. Squirt that cream all over the wispy mounds. This dude Jason's gonna be like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? It's too weird for me. All right, guys, I'm splitting. I'm done. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the people who popped in. Thanks for the new people who popped in. If you didn't enjoy this, maybe you enjoyed some of the stuff that's on my channel. Who knows? There's plenty of stuff for you to check out. But we will be back next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll have some more news about everything that's happening. And hopefully there'll be some more questions. And I appreciate everyone who comes by. And it's been another magical, mystical erotic adventure of the most deranged kind. So thank you. See you, everyone. And bye.